Today, the world is more culturally integrated than ever. Globalization's exponential growth as a process worldwide has seen a drastic shift in the way humans interact, travel, trade, and live. Currently, we see more culturally integrated relations than ever before. Through this, and the forces of globalization, humans, industries, businesses, and governments actively play a role in being either an agent or a product of globalization. My cultural inventory piece will explore the world of international tourism and the way it has been shaped over time as both an agent and product of globalization. From this, the video will explore my personal experience with international tourism and how it has created a platform in which I have found myself to also be both a product and agent of globalization. As explained by Sylvia Dodu in her piece, International Tourism from a Globalization Perspective, globalization has resulted in the internationalization of the demand for tourism and the creation of a global travel market in which travelers are global citizens. This excerpt allows insight into the international travel's role in being a product of globalization. Also, with the deregulation of movement across borders, international travel has become more accessible, convenient, and complex in its diversity. It is through this that it can also be classed as an agent of globalization. Today, international travel allows for the movement of people, religion, ideologies, and culture across borders, increasing cultural globalization in an incredibly profound way that allows more people to be connected and integrated more often. International mobility of individuals today has created an incredibly vast international spectrum in which individuals travel to more places than ever for more reasons than ever. In her article, Dodu explores the growth in what individuals travel for, whether it be adventure, exploration, culture, religion, history, or urban tourism. Travel and tourism internationally creates an integrated global experience for individuals who undertake it. This new age phenomenon of international travel has been influenced greatly by globalization throughout recent decades, and whilst humans have certainly always had a penchant for discovery, the movement of goods, technology, and media has created an international trend of mobility, thus has seen increases in human mobility through tourism, making international tourism a huge product of globalization. I think it is important to note that Earth as a whole has never been as globally interconnected as it is presently. As Funlaya Vesajoki discusses in their piece, The Effects of Globalization on Culture, with the flow of people comes the flow of ideas, concepts, ideologies, and views. Increased accessibility of international travel and increasing migration rates from a greater variety of countries means that we are seeing an outstanding influx in cultural globalization concepts like hybridization, deterritorialization, and internationalization as they are practiced worldwide. For example, air travel is certainly the most common method of international movement. In 2016, 1.5 billion people flew internationally, according to the World Bank. This statistic alone depicts the capacity that international travel has in moving great numbers of people and cultures worldwide and its role as an agent of globalization. International travel essentially induces instant hybridization. Airports, global cities, and tourism hubs are the epicenters of cultural globalization, and it is through this that there is no denying the role that aviation and things of the like play in moving huge numbers of individuals around the world and its position as a vital agent of globalization. Hayden and Ella Jaley's 2006 piece, Critical Theories of Globalization, explain that contemporarily we have witnessed a definitive cultural turn, whereby we, as humans, have experienced movement and globalization of religions, ideologies, traditions, and languages in a way that encourages shared experience and intercultural action. All of these aspects are not only instrumental in the spread of cultural globalization, but provide much of the framework for me personally in my growth as a product of globalization. Growing up, travel has always been a passion that is instilled in me. Having travelled to over 25 countries like Norway, Greece, Germany, Thailand, New Zealand, Canada, Malta, the Czech Republic, and Austria, gaining understanding through international experience has always been something that resonates greatly with me, especially when considering myself as a product or an agent of globalization. Whilst technology and media play a great role as an agent of globalization for individuals, personally, it is my experience internationally that has shaped my understanding of cultural integration and differences and my appreciation for things that are foreign. For me, the ease of international travel that comes with increased globalization gave me social, economic, and cultural understandings of the world around me. I find in myself now a sense of hybridity, whereby through my experience overseas in a variety of settings, I have embodied certain values and ideals I wouldn't have without that travel. Further, the people I have met and created relationships with have instilled in me a greater understanding for life's perspectives that greatly differ from my own personal experience. It is through this that I believe my international tourism and travel experiences have shaped me into a product of globalization. Through this experience and my garnered appreciation for cultural and national identity, my affiliation with travel has instilled in me a desire to pursue international, cultural, and fulfilling experiences on a global scale. I believe this desire in me to share my cultural experience and hear about others' cultural experiences creates growth in a small way that increases the sphere of cultural globalization. My small contribution to creating a more interconnected and culturally integrated international relationship is something I believe is important in providing a more understanding, multicultural front moving forward as cultural globalization becomes a more prominent aspect of day-to-day life.